Welcome to Queen of the Camp, the podcast where confidence is reclaimed, self-worth is strengthened, and you rise into who you were always meant to be. Here, we learn from real stories, shared experiences, and the wisdom gained through life's journey. I'm your host, Tisha Cueva, and this is your space for empowerment, connection, and becoming the queen of your own life. Welcome, and let's get started. Hello, and welcome to Queen of the Camp, our first podcast. And I am just very honored to welcome our first guest, Jacqueline Grace. Jacqueline is a true force in beauty and leadership. She has been a founding partner of Celeste Beauty and brings over 4 decades of experience as a licensed esthetician, professional makeup artist, corporate trainer, executive leader, and she spent 33 years at the executive level with Beauty Control, where she was a top producer, a trusted corporate trainer, and before stepping into this new bold chapter of reinvention. Her work spans film, television, runway, pageants, professional sports, weddings, and luxury cosmetic brands. Today, she specializes in helping women align their image with who they truly are, empowering confidence, presence, and opportunity. I'm so honored to welcome you, Jackie, to our premiere podcast. Thank you for joining us.
What a pleasure. What a pleasure, because I've known you for a while, but I've also known that Tisha, Queen of the Camp herself, is an inspiration because she created a business, plastics recycle business in a world of men. And it was very successful, and is now transitioned herself into a corporate executive role as well. And so we have all different ways we can move forward in our lives and reinvent ourselves when the time is necessary. I guess that's the way to say it.
Sometimes we have to do the needful. The time is there, and opportunity is knocking, and you just have to strike. And that's true. Well, thank you for those kind words. So I wanted to focus today a little bit on your experience, some of your experiences that you've had over the years, and how those can help others. Because I know you, and one of the things that you're a huge proponent of is helping women. And so my first question for you is that as you look back over your journey, what has consistently guided you and just kind of been your North Star in guiding you forward through changes, company changes, career changes, that sort of thing?
Well, when we were talking and getting ready for this, I thought about it, and it's always been one specific thing. And it had many definitions, but the one specific thing was helping women to look good, feel good, and have something to make themselves feel successful or they achieve a goal, or just bottom line is to feel good. Feel good could be outside, feel good can be inside. And I didn't know what the path was that was going to take me, but that was my drive so much over the years.
So helping them from an image standpoint, or inside or outside, or both?
Both, because we don't know. Like for me personally, I always looked at it from, and this is a little nothing, but when I was younger, and I say this, and my mother was amazing. She was an amazing woman. She was talented in so many different areas. But one of the things is one day when I got up, I don't know, I was 15 years old or 16. I think I was 16. And at that time, I wasn't allowed to wear makeup. That just was our family thing. Mm-hmm. And I got up and I came
blew
out.
That one out of the water.
Yeah. Yeah. But I got up and I came out, and my mom and my dad, it must have been a Saturday or Sunday. It must have been a Sunday. And I came out and my mom goes, and my mother was from the East Coast, and she just had her way, right? Mm-hmm. And she said, Jackie, go put your mascara on before you scare someone. Well, I didn't own mascara, so, for her to say that, I had light eyelashes as compared to my mother, who had beautiful black eyelashes. My sister had gorgeous curly black eyelashes, and I did not. And so my dad goes, no, don't say that to her. And then he took me to the store to go buy mascara. But, the whole point was, did I look better with the mascara? Yeah, probably in her eyes. And I didn't think I looked so bad, but apparently it framed my eyes. And I didn't say that, I'm not saying that makeup does that. It just, at that moment, it changed a whole different perspective for me, putting mascara on my eyes. And I went, oh, okay. And it wasn't that I
Because
wasn't confident or
but it's
talented.
how you're perceived by others.
Yes, but how was I perceived internally at that moment when I put that mascara? Just one coat of mascara, I went, oh, okay. Now, I wasn't allowed to wear anything else except for lip smacker at the time. That's an old thing, if anyone knows what
I
that is.
forgot about lip smacker.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So, but here's the thing. At that moment, just that little bit of whatever it was, I went, okay, all right. And I just that hair bit of confidence was different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the hair of knowledge. What does that do for us? How do we take that knowledge, a little bit of mascara, feel good inside, feel good outside, and where do we what goal do we have, or what vision do we have, or what focus do we have after that? How are we feeling? Do we move forward? Does it change the perspective? It might. I'm not saying makeup is the answer. I'm just saying that it changes the perspective, and we need to listen to people. Everybody has their own things they need to learn, get over, move forward, and maybe we can do that collectively together. I've seen a lot of teams come together, a lot of women come together over lipstick.
Right. Yeah. I've seen you motivate a, a lot of women. I mean, when you were with Beauty Control, you had how many people under you? It was a lot of people that you had
We had
under you.
2,000 on our team. Yeah,
Hmm.
we had a
Yeah,
lot.
that's a couple. That's a couple there, girl. But no, I've seen you be able to motivate people and help them find something to hold on to that helps them, get through a tough time or through a tough patch, right? And sometimes it's just that one little olive branch, that one opportunity, that one turn of something that can change things for people. Um, you know, you spent 33 years at the executive level at Beauty Control. How did that chapter shape your confidence and your leadership identity? Because that's a lot of people to lead. That's a lot of people depending on you to be the North Star, right? Like, where's our North Star? You have 2,000 people wondering what does our fearless leader have in store for us? That's a lot of pressure, and that's a lot of confidence you have to have not only in yourself, but you have to instill that in your team.
Mhm. I didn't know in the beginning I wanted that that position. It kind
Didn't
of
sign up for that.
I didn't know. I knew that what I knew was my sister introduced me to beauty control. I actually was introduced when I was living in California to a newspaper article with the owners of beauty control, actually Ginger Heath. And Ginger, if you ever get to see this, I saw the newspaper articles, full color ad of your beautiful picture, and someone had me look into the company for them who was teaching color analysis. But anyway, uh, but uh, I didn't look into it at the time, but I had seen the article. Okay, and then my sister had found beauty control through an ad in Success. No, I think was it Success Magazine. I think it was Success
Mhm.
Magazine. Our wonderful leader Evelyn Coleman had an ad in there, and her and another gal answered the ad, and they saw it. And I told my sister, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I had been in the industry. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to, whatever. Anyway, so one day I was actually living with my sister, and I saw, I wanted to touch the products. I did.
Mm.
And I touched the products and I went, oh, doggone it.
Now, were you an esthetician already at this
Oh,
time?
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I had worked
Okay,
for,
so you knew when you were looking at those products what you were looking
oh,
at.
oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Definitely. Definitely. And I had, so I had I had two different brands tester units in my bathroom, but my face was breaking out. And so I said, I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to check this out. She was sleeping, so I touched everything. And I went, oh, doggone it. I didn't really want to touch it. And I went, oh. And so my sister was an enormous mentor to me. Number one. Number two, the biggest mentor to me was my father. Our father, my sisters and my father, our father had an incredible work ethic. He'd get up at 4 a.m. and just go. He had an incredible way to work with people and bring people to him. And yeah, so, and then you take my sister's drive, my dad's drive, and then I was loving the product. To me, it's all about the product. It's all about the product. If you don't have a good product, you might as well forget it. I personally can't sell or support a product that I don't have like a gut feeling behind it. And that's at that moment when I touched the products, I had a gut feeling behind it. And
So you were not really starting out with this knowing how big this was going to get for you. You just were like initially looking at it for yourself.
well, I was looking at it because I needed to make some extra money.
So
And I
you were
knew what
looking
kind
for
of
an
money.
opportunity.
I didn't know it at the time, but I guess so. And the most important part was I needed the opportunity. I love the product, the texture and the quality. And now I could put them together as they were meant to be put together, and I could move forward. Now, here's the thing though. Then I started doing what we called clinics, which were for women at a time, doing color analysis, which we were trained. This was a different company totally because we had corporate training. These incredible owners, Dick and Ginger Heath, created a system that they put their people in a corporate training program. They didn't want to be like Estee Lauder, and they loved the direct sales part of the Mary Kay, but they wanted it to be totally different. And that was their philosophy. That's what we went on. Okay, so we're going to be different. We're going to have quality, we're going to have training, and we're going to help women look good, feel good, and we're going to have an opportunity if they want it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I did the clinics, I met nurses, I met pharmacists, and I met all these people, and they would stop and say, you look like you're having fun. I want to do what you do. And I went, really? Oh, okay. Okay. So I'd have to call my sister. What do we do? She goes, oh. And I was flying for Alaska Airlines at the time because I left the beauty in the spa or whatever, and I was flying. And one of the flight attendants, my very first person that said that to me, she took the trays from my hands and said, you can't serve the passengers. You have to stand in the galley and tell me, and the rest of the gals get to serve the passengers. And I go, okay. So the bottom line was people were asking me. And then before I knew it, because I was having fun, because I just love what I did, right? I was helping them look good. I was helping them understand the best colors of clothing. And then eventually we did the part where we taught women how to dress for their body type and their fashion and style and how to wear their hair. We had a wonderful thing called a profile.
So you're helping with the whole image.
Yes.
The whole outside image, from what to wear, what colors to wear, how you present yourself, makeup.
And then if you were a top producer, you got to apply to be a trainer. And that was like it. I always wanted to train. And the other beauty brand, the Luxe beauty brand I worked for at the time before Alaska, they didn't have that many trainers. So nor did Beauty Control, but I got to be one of the trainers. I was excited. And my sister opened Canada, and they sent me to do the first training in Canada and Calgary right after the 1988 Olympics. And it was cold. It was very cold. It was the most amazing experience. We had, I don't know, 30 to 50 women. I can't remember. It was a wonderful experience. But I got to, with that particular, but what I got to do is not only help women look good and feel good, I got to teach them that they could do it too. That it was a corporate program. I had followed a book.
No gatekeeping.
No gatekeeping. But then I had my team. So I was a trainer corporate, and I had my sales team, my team. But let me say this. Those 2,000 women, I didn't do that by myself. There were wonderful women who met wonderful women who shared this wonderful business with more women, and there were some really incredible women. So much so, I'm going to start to cry because eventually we closed our doors in 2017. And that was hard because those gals, some of them were young, single moms, women who had to help out their families. And now it was gone. It was gone like that. And it was after that, we were kind of all going, we're in shock. Two of those amazing women went on to create their own businesses. One is in mortgage. She educates people on how to finance homes. She doesn't just say, "Oh, I'm going to, fill out the paperwork and I'm going to get you the loan." No, no. She educates them on how to take care of their credit, how to move forward if they were turned down, how they can move forward in the future. That is something special. The other gal
Right.
created, I can't even tell you what the business is, but I'm going to tell you what I think it is. It's a big media business which gets people onto social media and other different media platforms to let people know about their wonderful either aesthetics or doctors or whatever businesses. She is amazing as well. These two came from the same person, my friend, who was a pharmacist. Now these were professional women all the way around the block with
Right.
with degrees that created one business and transitioned into another
So
business.
you
And
were so this whole network that you had going is women supporting each other and building confidence, learning how to run businesses so that literally it actually passed on after beauty control. Women still had the skills that they needed to move into other industries, even like not even the same, not even in the
not
beauty
even the same
industry,
thing. Yeah.
not even in the same industry. So this next chapter is where things got a little bit more difficult because not only were did beauty control close, and this is what you had done for 33 years. So this had become what you thought probably was your entire rest of your career. And
Yes.
then all of a sudden now we're not only at the end of that chapter, but we had COVID.
Yeah. That was
We had
awful.
COVID and you moved.
Hmm.
So this is the part where I think it's interesting, and this is where it can be really helpful for other women because this was a part where things got hard for you, you know, and now how do you rise out of that? Because that's what's so important for so many women is learning from examples like you of it's not how you fall. It's not the fact that you fell, how you fell, why you fell. It's what are you going to do? Where are you how are
Yeah.
you going to rise, right? And it's not easy, so tell us a little bit about that next chapter. So
That next
uh
chapter was just it's like what we learned from our father was, live with a World War II vet and you'll see how they got on with life. They had a lot of challenges coming out of that. But we never saw him falter. He always kept going. Even when he had bad moments or challenging moments, he just kept going. And I think the thing that my sister and I really learned was just move forward, move forward, move forward, And then
tenacity,
yeah,
resilience.
tenacity, don't stop. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. I mean,
But
it's your dad was just such a incredible. We both had really good dads.
yes, you did. Yeah. He but this all started, okay, I'll never forget, beauty control closed and my mom had a stroke. Actually she had 5 strokes and we happened to be visiting her that day and it actually was on my dad's birthday that the company announced they were closing. And
Oh my gosh.
uh-huh. So our friend that was a pharmacist and my sister and I and our families were over visiting my dad. And I hadn't seen my sister since that morning when they announced it. So anyway, I walked into the room and my sister looked at me, locked eyes, and Kelly locked eyes with me, and I just started to cry. And my mother, who hadn't talked, turned to my sister and said, "What happened?" So that was huge. Mom hadn't talked, which, she was a smart woman, and she just was like, fix it, whatever it was. So we had gotten a call while we were there, and so we all went outside. Kelly, Charmaine, and I went outside to hear the call, a different call than what was announced to us that morning. But anyway, how did we move forward? At that moment, we had to make sure everybody was transitioning through that last few days of the company. And then my son was in college. My parents were taking a turn for the worst. And making sure they were okay during that time. I had to have knee replacement surgery. My husband was deployed on a FEMA deployment. And there was a lot going on. And we're
That's a
all
lot
going,
on your plate.
oh my gosh, what do we do next? So next step was, what was I going to do work wise? So I kept putting in interviews, sending my resumes out. My resume was big. I mean, it was very long. And I did get hired by a company. They were amazing. I really wanted a Lux brand. I really wanted to work for them at an executive level. Uh, at the time, I wasn't even 60 yet. So, okay. And I sat with them. I didn't look 60. I didn't even look 50 at that time. So, and I sat with them and they said, we want to share something with you. We had a gal who was here only 6 months and we really need someone to stay at least 2 years. Um, will you be here for 2 years? And I said, in my heart, I will be here for 2 years. Physically, I will not be here. I might be in another state. Can I transition? They said, we really need someone in the area for 2 years. And I went, they go, you were exactly what we were looking for. Oh, well, I said, I can't do that to you. So I didn't.
So you kept your integrity and were honest in the interview and lost that opportunity.
Right.
So that had to be hard.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful, but I had to think about it. But again, our son was in college, and he was out of state in college, so it was not cheap. And knowing that we made a certain income before, and that income from that job was less than, and now I was interviewing for jobs that they were looking at me going, no, no, they wanted younger, and didn't matter my background. So anyway, eventually,
So age came into play.
whether they said it or not, sure it did,
Right.
because
Which we know that. And that's, I mean, no one says it, but it's, you get to be older, like, our age, and it gets to be a factor,
it's
right?
a challenge. It is a
Right.
challenge. However, okay, so then my husband said, get something. So then I did something I didn't want to do, and I did it anyway. It was, it's the field I was in. So I went and I applied for the department store in the area in which I lived, and
Mm-hmm.
there was only one. So but it was the most prestigious store. And so I went, and they had been looking for this one particular brand, and I put my resume in, and I went for the interview, and they hired me. Now here's the thing, yeah, I wasn't the boss, so I really every day had to sit in my head, this is not your business. It is, you are not the boss. You have no control. This is the things I had to feed into my head. I had to step back and humble myself. And my husband kept saying it, humble yourself. Okay, I'm humble. I'd look at the things and I wasn't in control. It was a whole different system and I needed to learn it. And I got frustrated at times. I tried not to share it. Occasionally I wanted to walk away because I didn't think it was being as fruitful as it could have been,
Right.
I said it to my account executive several times, and especially when one day I sold something that was $20 and I got yelled at for selling to somebody else's customer for 3% commissions. I just went, oh, I have to take a deep breath. I need a break. I'm going to blow. I'm going to blow. I could walk away from that, right?
Right.
And so we learned together and we came out of it on the other side. And then my husband had some things he needed to get through. In the meantime, my parents both passed away.
So this was a really, really tough few years.
It was, but again, the end goal. Everybody needed me. I needed to take care of it.
So your North Star kind of changed at that point. You had to pivot from what your North Star was for 33 years. Now you're pivoting. So now family is a little bit more of your priority and you're you're still looking for an opportunity, but you're showing up at a job every day that your heart isn't in.
That's right.
But how do you do that every day? What drives you to do that? Because that's hard, right?
No, it is hard. And I'll tell you, I would drive into work and I miss my team. Oh, I miss my team. Sometimes I cried. Most of the time I cried going in. But I had to remember that one thing, again, remember my main focus is help women look good and feel good. Feel good about yourself.
And you were doing.
which I was, but I had to remember that. I had to remember that, what I brought to the table, what I could do. Could I increase the sales, which is what they needed? Of course, I could do that. We had different ways we worked together, things that happened. We had COVID in the middle of all that too. My counter manager, she was pregnant. God bless her.
How'd you sell lipstick with a mask on? Just curious.
you, you put it on a hand or you put it on a piece of paper. And that's as far as you go. You don't let anybody touch anything. So yeah, we had all restrictions. Anyway, it all worked eventually for the end. But then I said my husband needed a change, pretty heavy situation going in there, and he came home and he said, I want to take you home. And he brought me home to where I grew up. And we didn't go to the actual place where I grew up. We went outside that area because it was a little bit more expensive to live where I lived growing up, which wasn't expensive at the time I was growing up. Anyway, and he brought me home. Now I had to switch gears again. I had to get another job. Well, I asked for that job to be now the manager of one here. And they looked at me and they gave me it. Now I took that particular counter was in the red, and it needed to be put into the black, which I could do very easily, which I did. And I transitioned with focus and things that would help customers and just a little
right,
pivot.
Because you understand building a business and selling products.
Right. But the people around me, not so much. They were younger, God bless them. They had their own stuff, but my counter was my counter, and I knew what to do with it. And I stayed focused on that. Now then COVID started to lift, and so we had a little bit more opportunity. They were opening up positions within that Lux brand that I was working for, and I really needed a job that paid more. I really did. And it wasn't bringing it in. So the job up where we were living, because it was the number one store, and we had more different type of ways to bring in business, I had more income there. Where this one was in a very prestigious area, but I was not bringing in the income, and I don't think that I could have gotten it to that level because it was two of us. No, I was alone. So I brought it to success, but now I really wanted that next position that was opening up. And I literally stood outside one day having coffee with my boss and said, I want to apply for this. And she said, oh, yeah, I know you're overqualified, but you're not going to be here in 5 years.
Why weren't you going to be there in 5 years?
Well, she didn't say, but it was age. And she knew how old I was. But that was nice words that she said instead of saying you were too old. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, but still.
It was, but it was.
Little did she know that you had a whole lot left in you, and you were going to be developing an entire international branch of another business. Like, you have so much to offer. She lost out.
Well, that's not what her focus was. Her focus was, no, you just keep doing what you're doing. And at that moment, I felt like, and this is no disrespect to her, but at that moment, I felt like there was a knife in my stomach. And I said, okay. So I went back.
You had to have your eyes open for other opportunities.
Well, I needed more money, and they were not going to pay me more money. It was not going to happen, So anyway, so then the Lord moves, and I know He does always in very mysterious ways. And not even 2 weeks later, an old boss of mine had posted something on Facebook, and I saw it, and I went, And it just happened to be, I don't know if it was a live or a Zoom that you could jump onto. And I happened to be, if you live in California, the 55, which can be backed up for to the 91. Anyway, freeway. And it happened to be a sunshiny day. I opened my sunroof. I sat in the traffic and I watched whatever it was, a Zoom or a live. And I sat there and I went, And I wasn't looking. I was not looking. And there it was. And he was 7 lines of skincare, the best of botanicals, old world remedies, and the best of science. And I went, and I got excited. And then I called my friend Kelly, the pharmacist. And I said, what do you think? She goes, sounds good. We should do it. And then I called my old boss from my other job up in where we lived before, who had moved to Boston. And I said, what do you think of these ingredients? She goes, what? Huh? You should do it. So I went forward and I got home and I sat and I looked at my husband and he goes, I haven't seen that smile on your face in years. What's going on? Literally, he looked at me, he goes, whatever it is, I'll write the check. He never said that, ever.
Because he saw that you found hope.
I had, whoa, hope. I mean, my eyes were lit up and all I could think of, oh my goodness, I have to call so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. And that was it. And he goes,
and you already had the roadmap because you'd already done this once before. So you know what you need to do to move this forward. And now you have some products you can believe in, which I know is a big deal for you. So then if you had a company that you could believe in, you were ready to rock and roll.
And the one thing that was important about all this is they had a sensitive line. And I'll tell you that I used to walk through the store almost in tears because everybody that comes in, what is the first thing a woman says? I have sensitive skin. Well, some of the testing on the Lux brands, they don't talk anything about sensitivity. They don't talk anything about, I have a brand for rosacea or eczema or whatever. Anyway, long story short, I got excited. So that's usually, remember, number one thing, help women look good and feel good financially, feel good externally, feel good internally. What do I have? So I had, thank God, in my phone always was the name of everybody to a point because some people had moved on with their lives, right? And it had the name of our old company next to it. So all the way into work and all the way home from work, I never intermixed it during the day, but in the middle, going in and coming out, because I had people on the East Coast in the old company. So I could talk to them in the morning and I could talk to my West Coast friends in the evening. And we created what the team is today. The most important part of this whole scenario is this. The company that I ended up going with is called Celeste. I'm not here to talk about that. But what they have is so different than anything in the marketplace today.
Yes, do not get me started on that. I love my skincare. I am the biggest fan. I am so every morning I get up and I go look in the mirror and I'm like, I cannot believe how my skin looks from the soap and the every night face mask. Okay, I'm sorry. But anyway, carry on.
I'm glad you're happy about it.
Very excited about it.
Yeah, no, and it is that good. Yes, it is. But what is different, first time I met with the owners was on a Zoom. It was just the three of us. And we were there and I'm talking and they're listening to me and I'm talking to them and I'm hearing a different philosophy. Let's talk about beauty in general. The beauty industry in general could be spa, could be in a medical office, could be estheticians, could be in the department stores, wherever it is, or direct sales or whatever you want to call it, social media marketing, whatever it is. But when you hear these gentlemen and our female owner, and you hear the platform that they have, it's different than we're used to. We can have a corporate account. We can have a personal account that we work a business from, that we're brand ambassadors for. The products, you could be omni or social media driven or face-to-face or a makeup artist or photographers or pageant, whatever it is you want. You can add these pieces to it in any way you want to. You have another brand you want to support, but our brand has some pieces that you want to add. We have the flexibility to do that, and that is a game plan, a marketing, a business plan that's untouchable. Because
there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of different people. So you can help a lot of women reach a lot of different opportunity levels.
And men.
It's more flexible.
Yes.
And men. Yes. Let's not leave anyone out.
But that makes it different. So, and that's what's there. But back to the product, and then ask me the next question. The product. Back in January 22, they asked all of us, the first 4 or 5 of us who joined, they asked us what we needed. We gave them a list, and I'll tell you, they've come out with something even more incredible. The pieces you're using right now.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That glass skin. It's like Korean skincare. It's amazing. Yes, very excited about it. Uh, so, question for you on what do you find consistently in women who rise in leadership? So you've seen that a lot from the corporate level as well, and also stay at home moms that have decided they are going to use their extra time and develop a business, right? Like, what do you see as traits that happen for women that rise, that women that are becoming successful?
They have a need, they have a want, they have a why. The why. I'm going to talk about somebody. If she watches this, she just joined us. She's a makeup artist. She's done beauty. She was in another direct sales company, very successful in that one, and won all types of accolades. And she's a single mom. She's got 2 kids. Her husband's not around, and he passed away. That's not fair to me for me to say that, but very sad, very sad. And she has a why. She's got to take care of these girls and herself and have a future. And she's just like wildfire. But the minute she touched the product, she said she didn't want, she was, avoiding. And then
Hmm.
she said, yeah, but she's got a why. There's other women who have whys. There's women who add pieces, or they do TikTok shops and all different types of scenarios. And you're going, this is so beautiful to see. It's not one dimension, it's many dimensions. And the makeup artists, the ones that are out there, the professional makeup artists, are adding pieces because they blend beautifully. We just won an award, by the way, best skincare infused beauty brand for 2025 and the best beauty brand for 2025 in the United States. This speaks volumes. And why? Because of the way it looks on the face. I could have surgery, I probably need it, but I am 67 years old.
Oh no,
And
you look amazing. You look amazing.
thank you. But good skincare, when you can't, I can't even take medication. So that's what I'm saying. Some people can do certain things. I wish I could. I mean, if that wasn't even an option, but I can't. I can't even, but the sensitivity, these products work with that. So,
With that, yeah.
but the repairing and the I'm going to age. It's the reality of the situation, but how am I going to take care of my skin? And can it be as simple and easy? And yes, it can. So being able to have that and having pieces that can help people. I said inside, outside, income wise, help their families, help other people. If you really want to help other people, you have that opportunity. And you have the opportunity to educate and build a business like an executive and make executive income, and with a company that's willing to pay you that and have other accolades or whatever it is you need, you can find it. Now here's one thing I wanted to
So
share with
so
you.
where you've seen the biggest trait is them having a need, right?
I need, yeah,
Are
or
there are there other things like that you see in the most successful women, like either being consistent, or is it just tenacious, or what other types of characteristics are you seeing in people that have grown to the top?
well, the need consistency, of course, making sure you focus, you book, you do things in an certain steps. That's what you have. Also, we have a corporate leadership, amazing VP of sales, 2 of them, Shakira and Kendall, the most incredible women helping us to focus on that. And with that leadership, corporate, making sure we always have the tools to educate ourselves. And that's what I wanted to say. In the beauty industry, it's so important, and any industry actually, to stay educated. We have so many different platforms now we can get education. But to understand your industry, if you don't just know what you do and your brand, you need to be a force. You need to know what the other brands also have. Ingredients are so important in this industry. Yesterday was niacinamide, today is salmon DNA. Tomorrow it's going to be ceramide NP or whatever it is. You need to know. Made reference
So
to Korean.
continued education.
Yes, continued education. You have to be educated. And like I said, you have different platforms to get that education. Now, I'm going to say this: AI is only as good as what you feed into it, right? Then you
Hmm.
feed the question in, you feed the information, and it's going to give you the answer to that, but not always. So where else can
Right.
you get that information? Possibly Google. Yes, there's the old-fashioned library, but also get yourselves involved in trainings, any kind of training, sales training, whatever it is, motivational training. Go to your church. So your pastors, well, my pastor, the two pastors or more, I always
Hmm.
feel they feel that need of my spiritual inspiration I need to help me stay focused on every part of my life. So you have those
Hmm.
choices, but stay educated, know your industry.
So for women who feel unseen or underestimated, their self-esteem is down, right? Which sometimes can happen. Like I've seen this with a lot of my friends that have been stay-at-home moms, where their focus is no longer on themselves. It's on being the
Mhm.
wife, the mom, and they spend several years doing that, and then all of a sudden they kind of just lose a little piece of themselves, and I've seen you help women in this situation, right? Where they haven't been working. So it's scary, after staying home for 10 years, now they need to go back into the workforce. And that's a scary step, right? But I've seen you guide people in those, particular situations. Um, how impactful do you think it is refining their image at that time? So the things that you help with how to dress, what your style is of dress, how to put colors together, how to put your makeup together, and putting that package back together again, that's just as spiffy as it was when they were in their early 20s. I personally think that probably makes a huge difference, but I think you've seen that affect more women than I have.
Mhm.
How impactful do you think teaching those things to women has been?
Oh, it's a huge change for them. They've forgotten about themselves just temporarily. It's okay. It comes back. You take the pieces that they knew, get them in the proper steps or the proper steps. Like let's look at color analysis again. By its way, it's back. It was around in the
I
80s.
heard that.
Yeah, and it's back again, and it's like
I
it's
need my
all.
color analysis done again.
Oh, there you go. Well, and we change. We are open to color. I mean, I know a lot of people know that think I only wear black, but I've changed that too. So, I'm not.
Hmm.
I don't only wear black. I mean, I do wear black, but I wear black and white and blue and pink, and I have other things. But during the '80s, I did wear a lot of color. But having someone sit down and just the first time, just putting those colors and go, I forgot I like that color. I forgot I looked good in that color, or just
Hmm.
putting that across now. Remember we taught fashion style, so now a woman looks at color differently. If she's more natural, she's going to wear a taupe and white or things like that, where a dramatic's going to pick the black and the hot pink, and helping her to focus on that. So we have that ability to do that. And when I do get to sit with someone and be able to do that, but remember this, she's still a mom, so she's not going to get dressed up in silk and wool and whatever every day. But how does she incorporate maybe that hot pink sweatshirt and
Oh,
those
I gave
leggings?
up heels. I gave up heels for a while because trying to chase my daughter around was, man,
Yeah,
that was not a heel situation. That was put on the tennis shoes and get ready to move. So
yeah,
I had to relearn how to walk in stilettos. I mean,
yeah,
it's a thing, motherhood does change you,
yeah,
especially if you stay home.
yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
incorporating, you have a hot pink sweatshirt and a black, not sweatshirt, but the wonderful new scuba, you know, um, active wear.
Gloves.
Get them in the hot pink colors, or get it in this color, and let's do a eye glaze or a creamy shadow, one eyeshadow, and put a lip gloss on and some mascara, and you're good to go. And show her some quick and easy ways. And now her self-esteem is coming back. Okay, now I'm gonna wear a pair of jeans. Maybe I'm gonna get black jeans and blue jeans, and maybe I'm gonna get a pair of white ones for the summertime because I live in California or whatever. And I'm gonna incorporate that scuba top with, or get a softer top, or whatever, a chiffon top. But I'm still casual because I'm still a mom and has to be washable. But how fast can I pull that beautiful image together? And now I'm feeling better about myself. So we go through transitions in life. But now she might have a business that she can incorporate that. She can do an Instagram real quick, 1 minute, post, and also bring in some income. And she can have some people stop by at her house. Now, we've all gone away from, sometimes we're still out there doing what we called girls' night outs. They used to call them clinics in our old company, parties, whatever, or sip and shop, or whatever you want to call them. We still do those, and we have a lot of big events where they have outdoor events for women and bring women together, and there's all types.
I have one event I need somebody to have, and it's I didn't have anywhere to wear this outfit.
Okay.
Because I have some really amazing outfits that I want to wear somewhere, and there's nowhere to wear them.
Aww.
So I need someone to have that party here.
Okay.
Soon.
Well,
yeah,
we'll have one.
Maybe a couple of them. Because I ordered some things I don't have anywhere to wear.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will. We will.
So,
we'll find it.
So now you kind of came out of that hard time with tenacity and strength and just resilience, remembering Dad's lessons that he taught you and the example that he was to you with his work ethic. And now you're growing an international team all over the world.
Yeah,
with Celeste.
That's crazy.
Like a ton of countries. I mean, I'm not just talking, Europe and the US and Canada. Like you have truly a huge international team that you're growing right now. So
we're working on it. Yes.
yeah, exactly. And so in this, you're growing leaders and you're empowering these women with opportunities.
Yeah.
So that empowers individual women to rise, to find something, and it's not specific just to one type. Everybody can find their niche. If a woman is listening today and questioning her ability to rise, what message would you want most for her to hear?
Say that again.
If there's a woman listening today and she's questioning herself and her abilities to rise, that she can still become someone, that she's not too old, that she's not too young, that she's not qualified enough, all those things that we question ourselves. Okay. And women tend to do this more than men. So women will not apply for certain jobs because they don't feel that they've checked every box that's on the job description. There's a lot of women that doubt themselves, and their ability to rise. What would be your advice to someone that was feeling that question of, can I do this?
Well, first of all, I always found that if I had a sheet of paper and I put a line down this sheet of paper, and on one side I put on the sheet what I'm looking for, and it just keep writing. I mean, whatever it is, I want to help women. I love color. I love beauty. I love, I love marketing. Okay, whatever it is, put what you're not looking for. I found that I could work for somebody, but when people don't have, when I left the one to come to Celeste and I was told, thank you for your contribution. I mean, what kind of comment is that? That was the end comment. I will never forget.
After you turned things around and did
that was
so much for them.
It was like,
thanks for
you're
your
done, you're out. We're used to people just coming and going, just move on, sister.
Cookie cutter.
Yeah. By the way, never looked at my resume when they hired me, by the way. She was the same boss I had up in the other state when I moved here. So here's the thing. What aren't you looking for? Well, I'm not looking for that. I need to have something that motivates me, or somebody who has faith and belief in my abilities. And I will say this, that's what you put on that sheet of paper. And then when you see it in front of you, which doesn't take that long, whoa, okay, that you recognize it. But it's not always doesn't come in the package you think it's going to come, right? One door
Well, you
opens.
probably didn't think you were going to be in this type of situation again.
No, and I didn't want it, by the way. I didn't want it. But I went, oh, okay. But the door opened and the door has not closed. The door opens and more, we add more because of the way this business is created. But you look at your sheet, you look at your goals, you look at what you're looking for, and you go, okay, it's over there. Okay, and you get involved in it, and maybe another door opens in a different capacity within the same company or in a whole different vision. And you might be able to transition or move over to that other situation, but keep your eyes open, keep your perspectives open. Focus on that sheet. I always had a sheet of what I was looking for and what I wasn't looking for. And I had it engraved in my heart because
So
once,
you knew your North Star.
and it always went back to
Helping others.
helping others. I want to leave you with this thought. If you aren't buying what you're selling, someone else is going to sell you on what they're selling, and always stay focused on what you have, the education, what you have. Always look for the better in not only people and their skills. Sometimes I see more, not because it's me, I see more in somebody because somebody always sees more in you than you do in yourself. Not always, but most of the time. When people
Mm-hmm.
have faith and belief in others, they'll help you rise to the top. They'll help you rise to whatever goals you have, whatever desires you have. But when you have someone who says to you, thank you for your contribution, I don't think they were seriously looking for the contribution. They were just ready to move on to whatever else was happening. We have
Right.
in our lives an opportunity to help others if you choose to. And that's been my, as you say, North Star.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen
Right.
it in you too. So that's why we've been friends a long time.
Long time.
Yeah. And we've had some crazy trips. Yeah.
We've had some fun times.
Around the world and in life. There's been some.
This is true.
There you go.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining today. We appreciate your advice and your words of wisdom and inspiration. You have certainly helped, and I don't even know how to count how many women you've helped in your lifetime. So you have followed your North Star and been a true example to all of us. So thank you
Thank you.
so
I've been
much for
very
joining.
blessed. Thank you.
Thank you.